Vlog day 681. So Fox is a former tour guide with Bike About who just opened a coffee shop in the 15th. The 15th is the neighborhood that's, I guess the Eiffel Tower is technically in the 15th. It's either in or bordering the 15th and the 7th. Either way, there's not a lot of great coffee in the 15th. So this is a boon for the neighborhood for sure. It's called Good News. I'm going there to meet Noelle, who's a patron who also has been a patron for a long time. So I'm gonna bring her a Gustav sticker as a thank you. And then we'll see what goes from there. Either way, I need coffee. I'm functioning, I'm functional, I'm up, I'm awake, I'm moving. Let's just go. Hi, you looked moderately lost there. So, oh no. And of course it's the one day they're closed. No, they're not even closed today. They open at 8:30. What is this? Hey guys. Fox, there he is.
Sorry, I'm late.
Don't worry about it. You okay? Did you get in an accident?
No, just grab.
Ah, that's what I needed. Thank you, Fox. That is really good. Delicious coffee. And actually, he had a cake. He's got two people working for him. One of them is a full-time pastry chef, and the cake that we had was actually gluten-free, which I'm always like opposed to the idea of gluten-free just because I assume that it's not gonna taste good. Proven wrong. That tasted very good. So yeah, really excited for Fox that he's got that place open. Good News is the name of the coffee shop. If you wanna go check it out while you're here, highly recommended. I gotta go teach English now. Really fun. Today, the reason I'm like apprehensive is because Monday on this course that we're teaching, Monday's the really boring day where it's like all grammar and vocab for 4 hours. Hooray! The week gets a lot more interesting after that, but I'm gonna go do that and I'm excited. I'm lucky to have a job, fortunate to have this work. So, and it's the job that even though I didn't have it for the first year, did convince me to move over here. So very grateful for it. Let's hop on the metro, find lunch on the way, and then, oh, also Noelle, really nice to meet you. It's really good to meet Noelle. Hand her sticker, and it highlighted a problem that we're actually gonna run into with Patreon, in that if any of you have had lapse in your membership, like if your card got changed or denied or something along the way, it doesn't show me the actual length of time that you've been a patron. It shows when you started the current string, how long you've been active. So we'll have to get that figured out as well. Just have to be paying attention. That's the whole story. But the coffee shop is right next to the metro, so really easy to get to if you're on line 8. Just so you know. Teaching over for the day. I came up with a cheesy analogy last night of why I get frustrated with English teaching as well. I'll share that here in a minute. I'm you know, not vlogging that much in front of my students because there's some behind me right now. I don't have any side jobs that I don't really like anymore. Like, I've managed to get away from doing stuff that I genuinely dislike to make money, but now I'm in a position where I still have a little bit of frustration or reservation towards doing pretty much anything that doesn't work towards my final goals at the same time. Although some come alongside that better than others. I finally have a good working, I think a decent working analogy for this, even though it's kind of cheesy. The analogy that comes to mind comes from a story that we're all somewhat familiar with at least, but the Eiffel Tower. I should be sitting in front of the Eiffel Tower to tell this story, but I'm on my way to the tea tasting, the second tea tasting with Pouchon's tea master. But Gustav Eiffel basically fronted the cost of the Eiffel Tower. He actually paid for it through his company, as I remember. He managed to get a 20-year lease on the plot of land and then seal the deal with Paris to actually build the tower, the entrance to the World's Fair. The whole thing was kind of ridiculous because he actually managed to rig the system so that he was pretty much the only person that could successfully fulfill the contract, like the design needs that they had for the World's Fair, but that's probably another story. Anyways, for 2 years, they built that Eiffel Tower, right? And it was nothing but investment. Like, he dumped money into that, he dumped effort into it, they worked really hard, and they built the thing. And if you've ever seen pictures of the Eiffel Tower under construction, they're beautiful, but kind of ridiculous. And you can imagine, for locals watching this like monstrosity slowly being built up from the ground, just looks like a metal claw being raised up. It doesn't really look like much. He did suffer a lot of ridicule and critique for the design, for the structure itself. A lot of people hated it. There were petitions signed against it, particularly by artists, actually. And in the end, he persisted. And you can imagine, after 2 years of nothing but hard work, thankfully nobody died except one guy who snuck in with his wife. That's a long time to be working on something, investing in something, see nothing come back from it. But after they opened it, obviously the world loved it, still loves it. And he made his money back in like, I think 18 months, which is insane. And then it stood the test of time. He built something that has outlasted him, outlasted his children, stands today as one of the most iconic symbols in the world and the most heavily visited paid tourist attraction in the world. It's pretty crazy. I gotta find where I'm going. I think I missed my turn. Nope, I was right on it. Go for it. So the first place that I saw Kylie in Paris, as she's just reminding me, was Père Lachaise. We're currently at the Père Lachaise stop on our way to do her goodbye dinner, which will be butter chicken.
Rightfully so.
Right. And sad. The rain is making the metro much busier than it would otherwise be right now. And we had to concoct, she's dressed for sunshine, so we had to, it was hot. But one of us has a rain jacket, so we concocted a rainproofing system that worked very well. I'll get back to my analogy soon. The tea tasting went very well. How'd you like it, Kylie?
It's fantastic.
Yeah?
The tea master was very passionate, wonderful.
He said he loved me at the end, which was very nice of him, so he gave me a hug. It was great. Dinner time, and then I'll get back to my analogy after dinner. I'm so hungry, and I cannot wait for butter chicken. Please, God, let there be the most buttery chicken of all time. My arm's getting wet to film this, but it's worth it. This is our solution to not having an umbrella and only one rain jacket. I'm so hungry. That was delicious. If you haven't noticed, I'm a huge fan of buttered chicken. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so good. Pushan says that there's no better butter chicken than his mom's though, so we're gonna have to put that to the test one of these days. I look forward to it. Congratulations, Kylie, on your new job and all the delicious Indian food you're gonna be eating soon. You're gonna have to come eat some Indian food at some point in India would be great. Anyways, the reason I bring up that analogy is because I feel like in the same way that claw of an Eiffel Tower is being built, a lot of people don't really see what it is that I'm hoping to build with my career, my creative career. I think more and more people are getting on board. That's very clear, obviously. A lot of you have. My patrons, and a lot more of you included, are very much on board and very supportive, and it's really, really good. And it's changing. I think it's because we're a few levels up. Like, I've been building for a long time. I talked about how during the first year of vlogging, when I was building a foundation, and it was growing, and I was figuring myself out, like, people weren't really on board. It didn't really grow. I didn't get my first 1,000 subscribers until well after my first year of vlogging. And the reason that I bring it up is because when I get frustrated with these side jobs, it's because they're taking away time and effort from building my Eiffel Tower, so to speak. I have to go over here and have to build some other thing that doesn't even actually work towards my end goals. It just is what I need to do to make ends meet. And that's fine. That's exactly where I should be. That's how this works. But it's just a way of expressing, like, okay, if I'm kind of annoyed or bored or tired of doing any other work, it's not because that job is not great and I'm not grateful or anything like that. It's just because I'm over here doing something that's fine, but I'm looking over here thinking, oh man, I just need to put up more crossbars. I need to continue working on building this tower over here so I can turn it on and get the party started and really focus all my energy over here full time. And that's where that comes from. Is just trying to figure out how do I get to being there all the time, I suppose. So anyways, when I'm a little bit like, oh, I've got to teach English this week, I'm very grateful to have the job I have. It's actually a fantastic job, and the coworkers that I have are great. The students are generally awesome too. They could use more air conditioning for sure, but not that I'm not grateful. It's just that I have something else on my brain and something that I'm very excited about and passionate about. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for yet more madnesses. Kylie's departure, soon Ren is leaving as well. And then Badger, and then who's gonna be left? Pouchon? No, he's gonna be in the freaking south of France. We'll go visit him here soon too. So anyways, I'm gonna go now, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Night.